You ever receive a collectible and you just think,
What the hell is that?
That's what she said.
Hey guys, welcome to the Extreme Channel. My name's Mr. X. I'm really excited as usual. I'm always excited. Excited. See what I did there? Very clever. Because this is a rare, amazing, weird, crazy piece. But before we jump into this, we are doing some giveaways. Doesn't it look like the gun's aimed at my head? We're giving away these two Venom statues. Make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, and you've hit that bell notification. Also, we're doing extreme prizes. Every month, 2 lucky winners win a gift pack. All you have to do is comment on a video. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. So this is not going to be a traditional review for a few reasons. Number one, we're not going to look at paint because as you see, it's an unpainted kit. Second, as we do sculpt, I'm just going to do close-up video and kind of talk my way through it because there's so many weird, crazy things going on here. But let's start off with some intro on this guy. So this is a 1/4 scale. This is called the Driver. Mr. X, I've never heard of that character. That's because this character was just made up. This came from the minds of two badass men. The first, I can't even tell you what his name is, Kaiser Sose. And the second is my favorite sculptor, Franco Carlesimo. Now Franco thinks up some sick I'll put a link to his ArtStation bio in the description of this video. Probably of my top 10 favorite statues, at least 3, if not 5 of them were sculpted by him. And I even have a Franco t-shirt I totally missed the opportunity to wear. Here's a picture of it right here. But back to this piece. This is a post-apocalyptic 1/4 scale creature. I don't even know what else to call it. It's very Mad Max, end of the world, crazy stuff going on. And as I said, this came from the mind of the commissioner / art director, and I assume Franco had some input as well. And I just fell in love with this piece from the first render. Now they are going to do an entire apocalyptic line. This is just the first. It's all going to be kits. Kits is an unpainted statue, which in my opinion are a pain in the because not only do you pay a lot for the statue to start with, because generally the edition size is very low. This guy, they only made 20 of them. Not really a big buyer base for some weird, crazy freak from the future. So this was about $1,500 just for the statue. Plus, if I want this painted, I have to pay to ship it to a painter who's honestly, there's so much detail in this guy, I'm guessing a good paint job is a minimum of $1,000. So it's getting quite pricey. Let's just dive into the review, and we're gonna start off with concept. Now, generally with concept, we look at how cool is it, where does it come from, is it accurate? Well, because this was just created out of someone's mind, God knows what else is up in there, then we really can't judge it based on that. So we're just gonna look at, is this cool? Did it deliver on what it was supposed to? He's sitting on a base, a futuristic base. This looks like it should be dirt, but of course you can paint it and kind of style it any way you want. And the lizard on there more insinuates maybe he is in the desert, really makes you think of future times. And instead of legs, he has wheels, almost motorized wheels, like this was part of a bike at one time. As you start moving up him, you see he's kind of a hodgepodge of different things. What's really cool is he is weaponized out. This dude has like 20 weapons on him, which makes him even more cool. His clothes are tattered, and as you move up his torso, he doesn't have a shirt on, but he has ammo and straps and a whole bunch of other stuff. And as you move up even further, you're gonna find out a bunch of crazy stuff. Obviously, he has 2 very different heads, and I like that a lot. It really adds to the freakishness of this character. And he has these very elongated arms. They're a lot longer than they should be. And he's wielding weapons, so he's in this action dynamic pose, running through the desert, kicking some butt. I'm curious as hell what else they're gonna do in this line. They've teased a few things, but we'll see what it ends up being. And honestly, if the second one is as cool as this, I'm probably in for the whole line because you really can't display this with anything else. And not only that, but I will probably wait until I get 3 or 4 pieces and then get them painted because I don't know what direction I want to go with the paint. You can do almost everything. Here's kind of the initial render. This is the bottom sticker, and I've blacked out Kaiser Soze's name, of course, but this kind of gives you an idea of what you could do with the colors. So concept is crazy if you like stuff like this. If you don't, then you're gonna hate it. I mean, that's the cool thing. It is art, it's subjective. I like it a lot. I think the concept's a 4 out of 5. It's a rail, it's completely unique. They really went all out. They didn't spare anything. They decided to really make this the most amazingly, freakishly weird character they could. Next is design, and there's a few things on here we're going to talk about, but you got to remember this is still a kit. So it's not like a traditional painted statue, and this is a true kit. So these are things you would never see if you bought a painted statue. First, there are a few pieces I haven't even attached because you're going to have to glue in. Check out a picture of these right here. You have two pouches that go on the front where the key is just really thin. One of his trigger fingers doesn't hold on. You have a valve or gauge that also goes on a piece of his equipment that you're going to have to glue on, so I held off on it. And then one of his teeth wouldn't stay in. His teeth are separate pieces, this transparent piece here. And this was about 45 pieces. Figuring out where everything goes honestly wasn't as hard as you think it would be. I actually did a behind the scenes unboxing video for XXX members. That's a membership. You can find out more information here. However, there was one very large design flaw. The action dynamic pose he's at puts a ton of weight on this left back leg here. And everything keyed in fine, but the physics to this, the weight, kept pulling it off. So I actually had to glue some pieces together here. And I spoke to someone else who bought the kit. They had to do the same thing. And in the end, that's not a huge deal, but it will provide a little bit more challenge for the painter down the road when they're trying to get all that done. However, if I wanted to display them now, I had to do that. Which brings me to the next point. Will there be leaning issues? Will there be engineering issues with this? God, I hope not, but I'm scared there's gonna be. So with design, it's very hard for me to judge because it's still a kit. I think the ambition of the project, all the different things going on, the dynamic position, makes up for a lot of it. So I think overall the design's okay. It's a very nice, it's a 3 out of 5. If this never tops over, then I'd probably rank it up a little bit higher, but it seems like there's significant risk of it falling, and we will find out. So now's the part where usually I show you some close-ups and we talk about the paint and sculpt, but let's just dive in with the video. So check it out right now. All right, so here we go. We'll just start at the bottom as usual. Now with a kit and a base like this, it's supposed to be dirt or mud. There's not really a lot going on, but you can definitely see a ton of cool texture. They got kind of the mud coming out of the track from the tires underneath. That's neat, little cracks in the mud over here. The lizard, you know, when they add stuff to a base, I'm always on the fence about this because the base is too plain, so what are you gonna add? This is funny, this is cute. And lately, this custom group has been adding weird stuff like that. They recently added a rat and a cat, and just kind of crazy stuff like that. Let's take a look at the tire. So the tire is kind of a mix between a motorcycle and a bicycle. So pretty smooth, not really a lot of tread on there. And then here you have the shocks and other connection points. And this is right here where I actually had to glue it. Right here and here. Some other metallic parts. And I think what's cool about this is there's so much different stuff you could do. Direct paint-wise. That's why I want to wait a while, see what some of the other characters are going to be. Let's look at his back while we have it here. So one other thing, he's got kind of straps all over. And the detail, look at the pants here. Not only the texture, but where the folds are. And some of his pouches here. Look at that. That is crazy craziness on the detail. Back to his pants over here. Some rips, some pouches actually in the pants. This huge homemade sickle type weapon. And right here, this canister, this is where that dial goes. Or no, maybe it's right here, I can't remember. Bomb, a huge machete. Right here where the two pouches go, the keyhole is too small. He's got the belt above there. You see how he kind of shakes a little bit? That's what worries me. A few imperfections. These I think got scratched during shipping, but these straps look awesome. He's got an ammo belt with his giant magnum right there. And what I like is it's kind of a hodgepodge, so really makes you think of futuristic. He's put all this stuff together. Even these bombs and grenades right here. And as you move up, so he has a strap with some shells. But look at the anatomy and the texture. Very, very crazy. You see some vein work in there. And we'll check out his left arm here first. He has these shoulder pads that are different. Oh, sorry. Some shoulder pads that are different. Kind of this armored bands strapped on there. And these right here, the different parts kind of cover the seams, which is really, really smart. Even look at the detail in the gun here. We'll look at the portraits last, but here's the other arm, a lot of the same, some great skin work here. He has these dog collar type bracelets, and here's the shotgun. And look at the back. So there's some crazy stuff going on back, almost like he's a mutated creature of some type or in a lab. And then he has two canisters coming out that kind of exemplify that. Let's look at the portraits here. So this, the mohawk, very, you know, kind of cyberpunkish a little bit, where this one's almost like a skeleton or a very skinny dude. So this is the one that's more like Mad Max to me. Fork tongue, no nose. Where this one, this reminds me of that cabin in the woods, the cannibals. And he is missing his top teeth. Those are the ones that kept falling out. These crazy goggles on. The detail is just crazy nuts on this. Very, very impressive. Print, the sculpt. What's interesting is, in my opinion, a lot of times an unpainted kit doesn't look as detailed as a painted statue. It takes the paint to bring out some of those details if it's painted well. So with that being said, all that detail, the creativeness of this, I think it's amazing. It's a 5 out of 5 sculpt. This is unbelievably done well. There's so much detail and the detail never stops. You could literally keep staring at this for hours and find more and more. Now we'll talk about value. So as I said, it costs $1,500. Honestly, a good paint job on this is going to be $1,000. Well, that puts this well over $2,500, probably even more, to be honest with you. It is unique. There's only 20 in the world. When I talk about value, I think a big part of it needs to be resale. What's the resale that I can get $3,000 for this guy? Well, honestly, if I find the right buyer, that wouldn't be a problem. However, finding that right buyer will be a huge problem. I almost feel like Rick on Pawn Stars. You know, he tries to negotiate back and forth. You got to remember, I'm going to hold this on my shelf for years till I find the right buyer. So I think there's a lot of issues with the value. I think this will be an incredibly hard piece to sell. I don't ever intend to sell it. So I think the value is also, it's right in the middle. It depends why you're collecting it. If you're a flipper of statues, this is a bad value. If you're a collector of art, then this is a good value. Because here's the other thing too. I now have this in my collection, and by the way, I have a few other statues. People may come in and be like, oh, I've seen that before. They will never ever say that with this. So where does this statue rank overall? Well, when you're looking at an unpainted kit, the most important thing is the concept and the sculpt. And that's where this scored very highly. So I think this is a 4 out of 5 statue. It's a rail. Because it's so rare, because it's so unique, because the sculpt is just amazing and there's so much detail and cool stuff going on. Now I gotta figure out where I'm gonna display it because it just doesn't go with anything. And plus, there's no way in hell Mrs. X would let this anywhere near her part of the house, that's for damn sure. But if you guys like this or stuff like this, check out some of these other pieces by Franco. These are some of my favorite pieces. Or hit that icon to subscribe to the channel. We drop daily content. I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know in the comments below if you think this is weird or awesome or both. Till tomorrow, take care.